Let's look at the text before we
Yeah.
listen to some more of this song, because it's actually, so this is really interesting. This is a text by Metastasio, the great 18th century writer and sort of repeat offender as a librettist, effectively. His texts
Yeah.
were everywhere in 18th century opera.
Yeah.
This one is actually from Semiramide, the same opera that we heard an extract from by Rossini. Not the only setting of Semiramide, I don't think.
I think there are about 60.
Exactly. There's really rather a lot of them.
Yeah.
So it's one of his really famous texts. Would you like to read this
Yeah,
for us?
it is very interesting. So it's very short. You ask me to justify a passion that inflames me. Love has no reason, or if it has to reason, then immediately it's not love. That's the first verse. Second verse, an amorous flame can never explain itself. Whoever talks about it a lot feels it little and can't tell you why. It's very interestingly poised here because it's obviously set in a sort of 18th century rationalist way, like what am I feeling? How can I analyze my feelings? But what it's saying is that if you are thinking about what your feelings are, then you're not really in love. So it's sort of balancing this idea, the idea of sort of romantic extravagance in love with a very rationalist, the world's a machine
There's
approach.
a very interesting tension in there.
Yeah,
I mean, between
yeah.
I suppose we now call it the head and the heart, I suppose.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, the interesting thing, you heard it already in a bit of it, the interesting thing about this setting is you could say exactly the same, but it's interestingly poised between the 18th century and the 19th century. In some ways, it sounds like it could be by Mozart, but then there are modulations, there are things that change, there are sudden movements, particularly in the harmonic language, which aren't there.
Let me cut in to just say a modulation, so that means changing key, that there's more harmonically going on than if it's just sitting in its kind of the same harmonic pattern throughout.
There's also more of a sense of it's what we in the trade would call developmental writing. There's a sense in which it's not just predictable phrases which are then repeated. There's a kind of uncertainty about it all, which very much fits the text in all sorts of ways. So it's very interestingly poised as the text is between a sort of classicizing view of things and something much more modern.
I think it's time to hear a bit more of this song.
Yeah.
So here it is again, from where we got to when we were listening earlier. So once again, this is soprano Rosa Feola and pianist Carlo Rizzi. Soprano Rosa Feola and pianist Carlo Rizzi there performing Donizetti's song D'un Genio live in the recording studio.